Recently, in southern British Columbia, a small town called Grand Forks was devastated by a flood. Thousands of people were evacuated from their homes. In the days leading up to and during the rising waters, residents came together and filled millions of sandbags in an effort to protect our homes. It wasn't enough. No one was ready for the force and the scope of the flood. Ancient dikes burst, water, sewage, and Lord knows what industrial contaminants washed into homes and yards. In the weeks following the flood, people couldn't get back into their homes, and homes filled with mold. And residents, many of them elderly and disabled, were left confused, homeless, and jobless. Millions of dollars of damage was done to homes, businesses, farms, and infrastructure. Ranchers lost livestock. Hundreds of flood victims have lost everything. All of our belongings are out on the curb. Despite weeks of preparation, my house too was flooded and I lost everything for 2 years in a row. Have you ever felt ignored and neglected by government? People of this small town are feeling that way right now. We are asking the government to test the soils in our yards. Despite numerous requests to various levels of government, they are refusing to do any testing. But despite the fact that there's no hard data, we've been told not to be concerned about any industrial contamination in the soil. We've been told that it would cost an obscene amount of money to test the soil. So people are left wondering if it's safe to return to their homes. People are left wondering if it's safe to bring their children back to their homes. Even after we've finished with the sorrow-filled and depressing task of throwing away our mold-covered belongings and gutting our homes, we're still not sure if it's okay to go back to them. The good news is that the people here are helping each other. Thousands of volunteers are out in the community helping to clean out houses. It will be a long and arduous recovery, but we will rise again. The next step is to figure out whether or not we should rebuild on the floodplains. What percentage of Canadian homes do you think are built on rivers, lakes, and the seashore? Do we rebuild the same homes in the same place? Do we need to build homes on stilts? Do we need to build homes on wheels? Do we need to live in houseboats? Do we need to move to higher ground? Can we trust the government to do the right thing now? Can we trust a government that is thousands of miles away and unaffected by the flood to do the right thing by us? Will a government that is seated miles away put money into preventing this from happening again? What needs to be done to our rivers and watersheds to protect us? And what was the true cause of the flooding? Is it climate change? Is it rapid deforestation? Is it a lack of proper dikes and channels to deal with the flooding? Who is to blame? Is anyone to blame? What can we do? You can help us to find answers to these questions, and you can help us with recovery. The people of Grand Forks are the salt of the earth. They are generations of farmers and small business people. They are people who come out and help each other in times of need. The people of Grand Forks have a story to tell. It's the story of our flood. It's the story of our tragedy. It's the story of our devastation. It's also the story of our recovery. It's the story of families and heroes and friends and love. There are many flood stories. There are the stories of the people who didn't make it, who didn't survive the devastation. There are the stories of the business owners who are trying to recover. It's the stories of family and friends who came together to help each other and are getting back on their feet and want to rise again. The government response has been inadequate. Hundreds of people need temporary housing and a plan for permanent housing, and none of that has been done. So the people of Grand Forks are doing something epic. We are taking control of our own recovery. We're on a quest to create solutions. We're joining together to be heard and to help each other. Our mission is to rebuild and to stop this from happening again. Our stories and outcomes can help prevent this from recurring here and in other Canadian communities. But we can't do this without you. You can make an impact by donating to our campaign. We're all in this together. This isn't the last time a small community will have to band together to save ourselves from something that is affecting the entire planet. Even the smallest of towns can have an impact on the world. Contribute now to give the flood victims of Grand Forks a voice, to tell our stories, to come together, and to rise again and thrive.